Nisa Ghul here. I was raised in the forest by my dad. After my mother died, my father taught me everything about hunting, cooking, finding things to make medicines, and basically how to defend myself. While hunting one day, we were attacked by the bear. It killed my father in front of me, leaving me completely alone. I ran away as fast as I could, coming across a cave where I tripped and fell, hitting my head. When I awoke, I was surrounded by a pack of wolves. Thinking they were going to kill me, I tried to get up and leave, only to have the leader come up to me and drop some meat by my hand and nudge it forward with her nose. That's when I realized they were just trying to help, while another two curled up around me to keep me warm. I then went on to live with these beautiful creatures for many years, until it was time for me to part ways. As a parting gift, the leader of the pack pushed forward the small cub who had become infatuated with me, as if to say, "He is your companion now. He will take care of you when he is old enough." Jeeves has been by my side ever since. I finally ventured into a village nearby, nearby where I used to live, only to meet Sout, who then became my best friend, with whom I did take under my wing and taught him things that he needed to know. Sadly, he went down the wrong path, in which I had to end his life.
Who am I? Who are you? Why do I need to introduce someone as formidable as myself? My reputation precedes me, after all. You should already know who you're talking to. No? Fine. You may refer to me as Artificer Ethelfin Ypres Yasfer Davidmore, protege of blade masters and armorers from the four corners of the Telkasir, and notable craftsman in his own right. Do not touch the construct. She is a delicate mechanism of such exquisite work that your ogling dirties her grandeur. She has instructions to dismember too, so mind your fingers. And yes, I am patronaged by House Talinda, thank you very much. Not that you asked. I travelled the highest echelons of elven society, so you will use my full name and title in the formal setting. Outside of which you may of course call me Artificer Daywinmore. Propriety must be maintained after all. What do you mean, what am I doing out here? I'm perfecting my craft. Whatever misunderstanding you've heard is scurrilous lies. There is always room to innovate and perfect after all, and one can't do so within the strictures of one society. Ideas can get stale, don't you know? Indeed, one day, Avatas, that's the construct, will be a shining, glorious centerpiece of the Telkasir's artistic and technological achievement. And it won't be thanks to just elven technology. No, there are many other disciplines that you blink lives may have some small knowledge of and that I can perfect. We elves are long-lived after all, but through this construct, I will achieve true immortality. No, I am not begging for coin. I have a highly placed sponsor within House Talinda. Why would I need coin? I was calibrating her load-bearing joints and placed my overcoat beside me because it is a sunny day. I can be hardly blamed if people throw coin at me. They are making assumptions. What do you mean, move along? Ordinance against begging? Are you serious? Take your hands off me. Do you know who I... Avatas, that was highly inappropriate. Thank you, dear. Get the overcoat. Leave the guard.
My name is Vanimelda. I am part of the Tarsali Asir. Ever since I was a young girl, I was under constant pressure as the next matriarch of my tribe. Learning about the world, having all manners of education, being groomed and molded to be the priestess. Also being sent to all different high houses to learn and network. I excelled at sword training, but that might have been partly due to the connection I had developed with Neveril, my dark elf swordmaster. Respect turned to admiration and admiration turned to love. For a while everything was perfect. We were in love. He started teaching me about his culture and his goddess Elistrai. Then the day came when I found out I was to be a mother. I was excited, blessed, and thrilled. When my twin babies were born and I held them in my arms for the first time, I have never felt so much love. I went to sleep and I felt untouchable. And I woke up to reality. Everything was gone. My children, Neveril, my swordmaster, My mother had dealt with them. Since then, I have vowed to work harder than ever before to truly become the most notable matriarch of my tribe and change this barbaric way of thinking. Mothers losing their children over such matters will never happen again. I carry Nevero's sword with me always, so I will never forget the injustice that happened to me, the motivator to always get better.
Tig! I am Tig. Tig Wild Elf. Big and strong, like a tree. One day, met big walking tree. Easy to talk with big tree. Shook arms, and big walking tree gave me his arm. Arm gift. We friends now. Arm best friend. Walking tree sound grumpy, but gave arm? Must be tired. Tig take arm on walks and make big and strong like Tig. One day, family go off for trade. Tig go for walk with arm. Come back to find house traded for dirt and ash. Where did house go? Family in dirt where house was. Family all sleeping? Tig try to wake them, but they stay sleeping. Covered in dirt and black bubble bits. Why? Tig smell cooking. Tig hungry. Tig go for very long walk with arm to find food. Tig and arm walk very far. Not know how long. Man asked Tig to keep safe small elf and friend. End up on boat with Nisa and Music Man. But they not strong. Tig and arm must teach and take for walk. All go to place with tiny tribe. Very small. Do job for tiny tribe. Tig use shiny round metal for school. Arm and Tig met nice tiny person. She make candy. Candy help Tig talk good. Tiny tribe are nice people. Found new home. Tig and Arm found new family. Then Music Man hurt tiny tribe. Arm and Tig go fix. No one hurt tiny tribe. No one hurt Tig family. Tig arm torn off, but Tree Arm helped Tig. Tree Arm now part of Tig forever. Music Man smush now. Tig keep Nisa safe. We go find Apple Sprite now. Shiny rock. Did good?
Can I get, you know what? We will get, Koi to give us a quick recap on the last session, if you please.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
From your perspective, from your perspective.
From my perspective, oh man, so, Dear Diary, I had a really interesting day today. I met a handful of really weird people. This really cute barbarian girl, you know, she was super nice, a bit slow though. This really interesting warrior priestess, didn't say much, pretty good with a sword too. And there was this other one, like an investigator or some kind of, I don't know. They're pretty intelligent, and I may have spilled the beans about the whole, you know, glove thing. Probably shouldn't tell anyone that part though. But I escorted them around the city, showed them the signs, you know, took them to the Artificers Guild, introduced them, that sort of thing. But then it turned out that one of their friends was arrested for something, so we had to go to a courtroom, and there was a court case, and we talked about what happened, and somebody was killed? I have no idea. Oh, and I got permission to go with them and help them do stuff, and they were looking for some kind of thunder temple. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm supposed to, you know, do stuff with them now. That's pretty cool.
Okay. Can I now get a recap from the party's perspective, please? Potato Queen.
My brain is mush. I'm not gonna be able to remember most of this. We entered a gigantic fucking statue that apparently people live inside of, which was both intriguing and scary as fuck. We met a few bits and pieces. We met a little boy. Fuck, I can't remember his name. Give me a second. Oh my god. We met Jonathan. He's a random kid that can get us around places and so that we're not spotted and stuff by people. We met an adorable little white-haired boy named Liam, and he was adorable. He's showing us around, showed us stuff, took us to the temples, all that kind of shite. And then, yeah, we found out that Aethelfin got arrested. And so we had to deal with that. That's all I really remember from the visits and the vacation.
We had to deal with that.
Very poorly.
And I think the only thing for the other members of the party was that Aethelfin spent his time bound and gagged, just the way he likes it. And Tig spent her time being fed candy in a garden outside because the grown-ups were talking. And other than that, that was about it. So, as the chains have fallen off Aethelfin, you've all been escorted from the room, from the courtroom. The guards step forward with shields and spears. Goodbye, Chad. Hello, Chad. And they start marching towards you quite formally. You get the idea you're meant to leave, and they direct you to a large set of double doors. When you open those double doors, you find a circular room with pillars and benches and a small water feature in the center, open to the sky. The rooms going out from that, this whole place is like made of marble, and the columns are made of some sort of cut stone. It's all very, very nice in here. You each have your own rooms to go into. The guards are sort of just pretty much, without saying a word, usher you each individually to a set of rooms for yourselves. Except for you, Liam. You're left standing in the main sort of lobby area. Think of it a bit like a hotel. When you go inside, you find yourselves in front of huge double beds. You've got long couches. There's bars that pump up heated water that just constantly flows, so you can climb in and have a bath. If you open the window, you can hear something slide forward, and a balcony pushes out of the side of the Colossus, and you can go out onto it, and you can look out over the island. This is obviously, you're being kept in some sort of like really high up sort of staterooms.
Can we say that like the nipple unseals,
No,
like it
you
just comes out?
No.
Damn it!
I saw that process turning over in his head, and the moment where he found it funny, that was great.
Look, I'm glad you went with nipple and not something else extending out. So, anyways,
I'm not crude.
Yeah, you are. The guards put you in there and just sort of like close the doors after you. And then go to you, Liam, and just say they're allowed to leave their rooms, but they're not allowed to leave this lobby area. They not leave these doors, and they point to them. Make sure they stay here. And then you hear them, without waiting for a response, they just march out, and you hear them stop outside the doors.
And after being given that order, Liam just sort of looks up and down the lobby area, then stands by the doors, hands behind his back, and just waits.
Okay.
Aethelfin this entire time has not been looking at any of them. He has been focused straight ahead, holding himself in a surprisingly haughty manner for someone who's gone through this sort of treatment, and has just, if anyone has motioned towards him, looked at him, he is just, you know that thing where you know that they can see you in their periphery and they just stare straight ahead? Mm-hmm. It's just that.
Okay.
And the moment he gets into this area, he makes a beeline for any kind of washing facilities, preferably private, and starts to clean up.
Each room has its own bath with heated water. So you can enjoy your time there. What do the rest of you do? Vanny, Tig?
I'm gonna jump into the bath, and then I'm gonna go talk to Liam after. So I'm gonna quickly brush, like really quickly, like but thoroughly and quickly, like clean myself, and then dry and go and talk to
Okay.
Liam.
After a few minutes, you find yourself, nice, clean, warm. But Liam, a door opens and a large wolf enters the room. It stands. Its shoulder is taller than you. Wait, how tall are you?
Let me check. Liam is
5'6", isn't he?
5'6".
Yeah, he stands taller than you.
Yeah, I just want to like go to Liam immediately. By the way.
Okay. So, for you, the door closes.
You just want to go
You
to
immediately turn and open it. And as you creak it open, the guards are talking to Liam and then leave. Then as you watch, a couple minutes later, Jeeves walks in wolf form.
I'm like, oh, Jeeves. Hello.
Sort of just,
And I'm like,
wolf head turns towards
just
you.
yeah, just
And then sniffs along the floor, finds Nissa's room, and just sits there staring at the door.
I'm just yeah. Nisa's over there. Liam, do you know where we can get wooden sword?
I assume that Wolf is one of yours?
Oh, but yes, he's with Nisa.
Right. I'm not sure they allow pets in the lobby. I can check.
I mean, wait.
This is going to be a thing tonight, I think.
He can turn back into a not wolf if needs to be.
It may be a good idea so the guards don't kill him by mistake.
You've never heard of anything being able to turn into a wolf or back from a wolf. You're just maybe a little bit perplexed at that.
Questions for later. Wooden sword? No, I can probably make one.
Okay, so Vanny just sits there and nods, thinking to herself for a moment. And while you're dealing with the connection issues, we'll move on. Tig, what do you do? You're not hitting push to talk.
Sorry.
Hello.
Tomorrow, Tig is, to be honest, probably super fascinated with the bubble bath and just playing with bubbles everywhere. Then she's gonna, chill out a little bit, talk to Arm, clean up Arm enough, but still leave it looking reasonably battle ready. And then probably go for a bit of a walk around, try and find out what else she can find. She's honestly pretty fascinated with that sparkly lightning thing that she saw the guy hold up. She wants to try and find more.
Okay. And Nissa, as you're halfway through, like you said, you're washing quickly. You're halfway through that. You immediately get this shock run down from the base of your skull down your spine, and you know Jeeves is nearby.
I'm gonna sort of yell out, Jeeves, just push the door.
Okay.
You can come in.
In wolf form, he takes it a little bit too literally, and just sort of starts banging on the door with his head, like, how dogs sort of like nudge things. So, halfway through the conversation between Vanny and Liam, you just start hearing thud, 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 as this dog is just smacking its shoulder and head and body into the door.
Liam's gonna walk over and just... Yeah, Liam's gonna walk over it and, like, carefully, leaning away from the wolf as he does it, reach out and just gently push down the handle of the door, so the next time it bumps its head on, the door will open.
Okay.
Nissa, you hear... Keep it down!
So, as it does that, the large wolf sort of looks to you and sniffs like across your chest and face and just licks you once up the cheek, leaving this huge, just slobbery kiss down one cheek. and then walks inside.
Wait, so it does that to me?
Yep.
Liam has a little freak out to himself. He's like, ugh, gross! And he just sort of like immediately pulls out handkerchiefs and rags and just starts rubbing it off and trying to clean himself off.
I assume that I'm hearing this, so I'm just gonna yell back at Liam. Sorry.
Yeah. You hear that
That's
from
fine.
you hear that from the bathtub. Okay. Continue your conversation, Vanny.
Yes, so where can we get a wooden sword so we can begin with our training?
I'm going to assume not near here, but I could probably make one.
If you could make one, that would be great. So we don't accidentally hurt. So I don't accidentally hurt you.
I mean, I know they told you to teach me how to use a sword, but I don't think I need to. We can just tell them you did.
I don't lie.
That's okay. I'll do it for you.
No. And I insist, no. I kept a promise to teach you how to use the sword, and so I will.
Okay. I will let you know when I find a wooden sword, and then we can begin our training.
Thank you. And I just walk back to the room and and like take my time with the bath and just like cleanliness.
Are you going to reapply all your henna?
I mean, the henna kind of like marks you, so like even if you shower, it stays.
Yeah, I know, but it's also it would have been marked and dirty because you haven't really had a good, thorough sort of. It's been
true.
like buckets off the side of the boat, and you know.
That's true. Yes, then yes, I would reapply the henna.
Okay. Okay, so you do that. Everyone's feeling a lot better. Liam's sort of sitting there by himself in the lobby. The door creaks open, Liam, and a guard puts his head in. Says, "When they are ready, bring them back to the council chambers. The meeting starts in at least half an hour."
At once, sir.
Closes the door. Okay, how long would it be before you guys start making your way back to the lobby area?
Well, I'm basically finished cleaning now, so I'm just gonna tip some water over Jeeves, ruffle him up with a towel, and walk out.
Okay.
I think Tig would probably be ready to go by now. She would have been walking around looking for shiny things and trying to, hold up the snow globe, trying to look at things.
Yeah. I'm not sure how well Smallcoin knows what your characters look like. So now that you guys are back into what's your regular state, as you walk out to him, explain what you look like. So start with Nisa.
I'm a slightly middle-heighted elf with a long blonde hair that has pink tips. So it's just like, yeah, nice long blonde hair with the little pink tips, and I'm wearing basically like leather armor with a black, and we never really figured out what color Jeeves was, so I'm just gonna go with like black, slightly silver wolf.
Yep. Okay. Her armor is, you can tell it's made for mobility and movement, because she is a ring we pick up from the bow. She has had delivered back in a pile. You had to give over all your weapons before. They're in a pile inside the room. Sorry, inside the rooms, the lobby area. Tig, describe yourself.
Tig is quite a tall wild elf. She's got tattoos on her skin that they look like tree roots on her legs, and as they go up and over her arms and up the side of her face, they kind of look like tree branches and leaves. She's got kind of a matted top mohawk thing, and just scraps of fabric for a top and some pants, And that's really about it. She's carrying her bucket and her snow globe, and she's got a right arm that's made out of a tree that's pierced through her skin at her shoulders.
Poor
Yes,
soul.
it's a bit gross. And then Vanny walks out.
She has long, like bright red hair. Think like Little Mermaid from Ariel.
Bit louder, Chad.
Oh, she has long, like bright red hair, kind of like tall-ish. She has like really bright yellow eyes, and with the henna tattoos just recently applied, you see them like really dark and really like intense. They're like all over her face, and they have like the pattern of like moons and like the sun, and like they go all over her like her arm, to, like to her fingertips, and like she's just there.
Are you wearing your armor?
Yes.
Okay, so you're in full like armor with is it armor over robes, right?
Yep.
It's armor over robes, yeah.
Okay. Cool. So everyone slowly makes their way out.
Nope. Aethelfin is in the bathrooms, and you hear frustrated noises coming from there.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk over to the door and knock on it. Hurry up.
Okay. Well,
You hear nothing.
you've got Nissa and Tig out first. We say to Liam, or if anything.
I
Where's
hope
Jeeves?
Jeeves, the dog?
Jeeves is just gonna obviously like come wandering out after me.
I'm
Jeeves,
just gonna
Jeeves
hold the
is
bucket
here.
out in front of me. Just.
He's not gonna come near you. Don't worry. I'm gonna look at Liam. Sorry about if he hurt you or scared you in any way.
More confused to me. I assume priestess, based on what I heard in the council chamber, mentioned that this was its wolf form. It can change forms.
Yeah, apparently.
That's amazing. I wouldn't mind learning more about how it does that later, if that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can always ask him at some
Ask
point.
him. You mean
I
you
have a
speak?
mental. I have a mental link with him in his wolf form. He sometimes speaks, but when he's in human form, kind of speaks like Tig, but only really communicates with me.
Aha. And he like reaches into his pocket, remembering that he has some parchment and some like scrolls and ink and stuff, and he starts jotting all this down and making a few notes in some weird runic language.
Okay. Sorry. Continue. You was about to say something, Tig.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Tig's probably gonna go have a look at what he's doing. Just lean over his shoulder, like try and look over at the page. Just trying to figure him out and then try and copy him. Just scribble on the wall.
Okay. You hear the sound of a metal claw scraping at the marble on the wall.
Please don't do that. They'll have my head for that.
But take arm, not head.
Right. If you want to do that, can you do it here? And he puts like another parchment, just like he has on the table, and pushes some charcoal over.
Tig's going to pick up the charcoal and sort of crush it in her hand. The one that's got her name scratched on it, like crush it in her hand and then smack it down on the page, and then pick it up and then show him.
You have a handprint.
Tig!
That's very pretty. Wow. Can I keep this?
Yes.
And he looks it over with a smile and just sort of like rolls it up and puts it in his satchel.
Tig's just proud as punch. Now she's going to go and try and find Aethelfin.
Okay, at this point, Vanny walks out.
Walk out. I'm like, Liam, did you make the wooden swords yet?
I couldn't. I've been tasked with some other important business. I overheard from the council chamber you're a priestess? Does that mean you have holy texts? One that I could have?
Not on me, no.
Can you make one?
Why, no.
That's a shame.
What kind of holy text do you want me to make?
Something to read. Perhaps a descriptor of your faith, some rites of battle or protection, anything really. I'm interested.
Like that? Sure, just I need to find something to write it down on.
And he slides some parchment and an ink and quill across the table.
I'll get this back to you when you have the wooden swords.
That is a deal I didn't expect, but one I will take.
Okay. Aethelfin, are you listening to any of this, or are you just like being frustrated
No,
alone in the bath?
Aethelfin is trying to put his clothes on with one arm and not having much success.
Okay. You guys can hear the sound of fabric moving, somewhat sort of like being a little heavy-footed, and the occasional grumble of discontent.
I'm going to assume that that's Aethelfin, right?
Yes.
I'm going to walk up to the door and calmly knock and be like, are you okay in there? Do you need any help?
No, I'm fine.
Are you just being stubborn? Or do you actually want help?
Get no response.
I'm just gonna like
I'm
go like this. I'm gonna cover my eyes and I'm gonna like open the door and be like, I'm coming in to help you, but I won't look. And I'm just gonna
Get
like
out.
Okay, as she opens the door.
He
Sorry, continue, Catherine.
Yeah. Okay, so like if anyone else were watching this scene, right? When she opens the door, you would see like Aethelfin has his pants on. That wasn't the hard part. The hard part was getting the shirt on, which is basically every time he tries to loop like the side where his arm is sort of a stump, it kind of slips off, and he's constantly trying to grab the fabric, which slips behind his back. So he reaches behind and tries to pull it forward, and it's just this constant battle. What he ends up doing is when you come in, he sort of like drops all pretenses of it, looks at you imperiously, and goes, "Excuse me, this is a private."
All right, sweetheart, so what are you waiting for?
And since we're doing the descriptor of people, like Aethelfin has like platinum blonde hair, amber eyes, slight scar down his face. But this is probably the first time anyone's seen him without his shirt on. He's got what looks like forge injuries, like things that you would get working a forge most of your life. He's actually very well built as well. But, lean is the way you would describe it. And he's obviously missing an arm. And he's just like, yeah, do you mind?
I'm just gonna peek through my hand. Oh, so you have pants on. Okay. I'm just gonna walk straight up to him, grab his shirt, and help him button it up, whether he likes it or not.
He slaps your hand away. I don't need your help, thank you very much.
We're in a hurry. We kind of need to be going soon, so I'm gonna help you. You're gonna let me help you, and then we're gonna go.
I don't mean to be rude or interrupt, but we still have about 20 minutes left.
I think sort of watching this is kind of just like trying to figure out what the problem is here, and is realizing that Aethelfin's not really happy, but doesn't understand why he doesn't want help. She's sort of
every time Nisa's like leaning in to grab the shirt, he like steps away and is trying to.
Fine. And I'm just gonna walk away then. I'm
do
gonna
this
turn and
myself.
walk.
Thank you very much.
I'm just gonna turn and walk away.
Do I hear him say? Do I look at him being like all?
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, he's being awkward as fuck. Yeah.
Like.
I'm throwing my hands up. I'm just throwing my hands up. I'm fucking done. I'm gonna walk out and go pat Jeeves.
I'm gonna go over to. Oh, sorry, Chad, no?
No, you go. You go.
I'm gonna walk over to Liam sort of lean down, just, hello, need help.
Close the bloody door.
You want me to try and help him?
Take,
While
take,
that's happening,
take lost arm. I'm sorry. Take lost arm. Help take. Adolf and stupid, but grumpy. We go. You make difficult. Make him faster?
I don't know about faster or helping, but he's definitely not dumb. I assume Liam got like a little peek into the room.
Yeah.
Those injuries he has, I've seen those before. He's, well, it doesn't matter, but we should just leave him be. He'll manage. He seems pretty tough on his own. If we just wait for him, he'll get it eventually.
We wait?
Yeah, we'll wait here, and he'll be done pretty soon.
Okay, we wait. Tig's gonna sit on the floor with a bucket.
Ethelfin, roll me a dex check.
Right.
What's what?
I think it's +4. Actually, no, it's Dex. Yeah, no, it is +4. So 10.
10's enough. You
Yeah,
sit there
I
for a
wouldn't
couple
imagine
minutes,
it'd be hard.
and you eventually get your shirt on. The door is closed. As far as I know, no one else is in the room because Nisa went off in a huff. Do you leave or do you stay?
Oh, he leaves. He rejoins them. He was just having difficulty.
Okay. Now that you're together, what do you say to each other, or do you just move through these doors?
I say nothing.
I'm gonna look at Nissa and Danny and everything from I'm sitting on the floor just we good to go? Bring him point at Cheese just
And
He'll stay next to me, Tig, don't worry.
Actually, can I say that while we were waiting for the 20 minutes, because we have like 20 minutes, right?
Yep.
lots of time.
Okay, so I look at like Liam, and I'm like, you have 20 minutes. Go. And I like, give me a pen.
For the sword?
What else would it be for?
Right.
Yes, chop half-breed.
Sure. Also, it's nice to meet you, sir. My name's Liam Nava. You can call me Liam. And he extends a hand towards Ethelfin.
He just raises an eyebrow. He goes, you don't know about your people, do you?
It's not my job to know, it's my job to serve, sir.
And he sort of like extends a hand, not so much to grab, to like clasp it, so much like the kiss the ring sort of gesture.
And Liam will just gently take his hand, lean down, and kiss where a ring would be on his middle finger, and then let go.
It's like, well, at least someone here appreciates. Never mind. Yes. Well, Liam, it is to make your acquaintance.
I have to run a small errand. Does anyone want anything? I've been ordered to make sure that everyone stays in the lobby before we go to the chambers. I can fetch some things for you if anyone would like anything.
Tig's gonna hold out the bucket at you and just be like, Sandy? And me.
I don't know about candy, but I can probably get meat. And he'll just gingerly take the bucket.
Okay. All right. As the 20 minutes comes to an end,
Already? I need to go and get a sword and meat.
yeah. However,
Well, when we see her.
while we can say things in a few seconds, the actual actions would have taken a lot longer. So as you've taken the bucket and the guards, and because the door was locked as well, like you couldn't leave. The guards, like, you hear it unlock, and one of the guards opens, like, whenever they're ready, and closes it.
Well, wait. And does he like wait for the door, or does he just close it anyway?
Yeah, he'll half stop, and you just sort of like see it creak open again, and he's just looking at you.
We're ready, but if it's all right, I'd like to run a few errands while they're with the council.
I believe the council wants you there.
Then we're ready.
What errands do you need run? I can send for someone.
I need a waster, a practice sword, and I need to fill this with edible meat. And he holds up the bucket.
There'll be food
when he
upon
says-
your return.
When he mentions like the sword, I'm like, 2 wooden swords.
2 wasters. Sorry.
Weighted?
Yes, for serious practice.
Interesting. Okay. And he takes the bucket, puts it on the floor, and then just sort of motions for you guys to leave. Okay, I assume you leave.
We leave.
Yeah, so I'm waiting behind Liam for him to leave, so I'm just like holding Snowglobe waiting.
Yeah, so we're just.
Okay.
Yeah.
You move towards the council chambers. And the doors open as you arrive. The guards outside have opened them. In the middle, you see the same dais with the same chains. And you're all sort of told and shown to step up. Stand, we are told, on the dais.
Like zero reluctance, absolute certainty, steps up. Aethelfin steps up straight onto the dais and looks at them all squarely in the eyes.
Okay. One of the people leans forward. So, why are we here? What brought you to our city?
I'm looking for a temple that gets struck with lightning every so often during the day, and I was told that it was kind of near here, but not near here. If that is to make any sense.
I do not know what temple you speak. I have lived my life in this city, this construct, my home. Someone may know of what you speak. However, it's odd that a temple would be struck by lightning. More, like, so often, anyway.
Well, unless it had a conduction rod placed atop it.
Yes, but even then, there needs to be storms constantly, doesn't there?
Well, there are such phenomena outside this quaint construct.
If I may speak freely, Councilman?
Seed?
Utilizing my best techniques, I can assure you that they do speak the truth. That is exactly what they're looking for, as outlandish as it may seem.
So why did you come here? Why to our city? Why not elsewhere?
Aethelfin sort of looks
I'm
sidelong
gonna
at
point
Nisa.
Aethelfin. I want to look at Aethelfin because he's the reason we're here.
No, he's just like looking at you, like rolls his eyes and goes, "We are here, good councilman, to enact a trade. Our services for tasks that you require completed in return for information pertaining to or leading to the location of this church that Nisa here speaks of. And, well, perhaps that is best spoken of in private. But I guarantee you, as far as I'm concerned, I intend to fully uphold any bargain, and I believe I speak the same here for my compatriots.
Do you have anything to offer? For travelers? Even some interesting cases such as yourselves? I'm not sure we have any use for you.
Well, before you stand an adept swordswoman, and he gestures to Vanny, and then he gestures to Tig and goes, a brute of strength and of, well, base cunning that can be driven towards your enemies should they be required to be removed. Myself, with my formidable intellect and talents and knowledge of constructs, although I believe there is, of course, some disagreement about the role of constructs in society, which, of course, can be negotiated skillfully between myself and yourselves. And then he looks at Nissa, whatever she does.
Well, warriors we have plenty of.
But plausible deniability, how much of that do you have?
He looks around. Leave us. And most of the councilmen get up. The king gets up. They all leave.
I want to note the guy who said leave us. What does he look like to me? If I can, I'd like to gauge him in the same sort of manner that Aethelfin would have gauged anyone that he would have approached for patronage. Just a general shakedown of okay, this guy clearly has some kind of power here. What's the impression of the scene beyond just he has the ability to make people leave if he wants? Any checks I can make here, or any impressions or information I can just glean from looking at?
Just glean from looking at him? Confidence. Right?
Yeah.
You have a small understanding that just by looking at what he's wearing, he has he's seems to have a lot of jewelry with gems that all seem to shine just a little too brightly. He is definitely part of one of the Artificer Guild.
I probably wouldn't have my blade with me, would I?
No. And
right.
An insight check would be needed to get anything more.
Sure. All right. Well, I wouldn't mind rolling an insight check to see what I can glean.
I will fetch my own.
So 13. I actually could I, instead of an insight, because I don't think he would have known enough about this person to kind of be able to glean information from that. Do you think he could? I could change that to an investigation check to sort of gather what information I can from his bearing and sort of what he wears, his badges of office.
Exactly what an insight check to me is meant to be. Investigation would be if you got close enough to actually properly touch and feel and go through evidence.
Okay, well, if it's just a straight insight, then it's a 16.
And as for him, he's kind of hard to read.
Right.
The most you get is that everyone here, upon they knew as soon as he started saying "leave," they were already standing. Like, he didn't get to finish what he was saying. They were like, yep, we're gone.
Right. Is it like a fear?
You don't know.
Or just in the... Okay, interesting. Alright.
Liam, you
So
don't
I guess he'll
recognize
wait.
this councilman. You recognize him that he was there last time. He didn't talk last time, he just watched, and you don't know what guild he's part of. He's wearing no iconography whatsoever.
While this is all going on, and while Ethelfin's talking, I kind of just look over at Vanny and just nudge her in the shoulder gently and just like, good. You okay? You good?
Speak a bit louder, please.
I just sort of nudge Vanny in the shoulder and say, you good? We okay?
I think we're okay. Also, and I look at her and I'm like, next time, and I was just like, your hair, you have to look the part. No, come, you have to look good. We are in front of people. And I'm just like...
It's just this, like, the slow turn to look at the two of you, like...
See, always.
Okay. The last person leaves. You notice that the only two people that didn't leave weren't really visible or in your eye line, and they've moved up to sit next to this man. I might have something for you to do for us. Recently, I found some texts were taken from me, along with a signet. I need you to find them. My personal guards chase them to the disposal areas of the Colossus, beneath the experimentation chambers. What are you laughing at, boy?
I'm not laughing in character. I'm laughing as me because I have intrusive thoughts. Don't mind me. That was not in character. Ethelfin would never laugh as he's been spoken to.
Well, I want you to find the texts, the bodies, and the ring.
I see. Well, this is absolutely within our powers to achieve. If, of course, we can have access to the areas where the theft was perpetrated, so we may deem how it was enacted, and then, of course, extrapolate from that who was responsible, so we may then track them down.
No, you can have where my men lost him, and then if you find the body and any markings of allegiance, your plausible deniability will come into play.
Apologies, sir, it may not be my place, but on the topic of allegiance, could I ask which of the guild houses you represent?
If you required the knowledge, you'd already have it.
Oh, of course, sir. Forgive me.
Were not deemed worthy to know. So, if you find this thief works for, you will wipe out his entire household.
Well, this seems amenable to myself. I can't speak for my compatriots, but I am assuming there are no...
Then why don't you come down a little bit? Where the
There's
food is tiny?
Arguments
D&D height.
Your construct.
I do have a question.
Yes.
When you say like deal with them, Oh, do you mean like everybody in like the guild thing? Do we have to kill them?
Did I stutter?
That face
Did
palm
I
is in real.
make it hard for you to understand when I was offered your plausible deniability? I thought perhaps I was dealing with people with some modicum of intelligence. I see I was wrong. Artificer.
I was
You
just
weren't
making
wrong.
Artificer.
Quiet,
Keep-
please. Yes, sir.
Your roots in line.
Of course. My apologies. You must understand she is of a lower class and therefore does not understand the delicacies of intrigue. Well, these are all acceptable terms, but I would ask that there are two addendums to this proposition. The first is I will require a guide to aid us should there be any complications once we
already
discover the
have
thief's identity. I was not sure whether or not he was involved. I assume that was the case, but I didn't want to assume as to assume makes an ass of, well, never mind.
Yes.
The second is I am currently, shall we say, at a disadvantage. And I understand that perhaps you may have the ability to restore my arm, or at least the functionality of my arm, for the purposes of this excursion. These are simple requests, and it seems the first has already been met, so I wonder if that would be possible.
You can have an arm either on the return of your errand as payment, or I can take the arm from your toy and fasten it to your shoulder.
Payment is satisfactory. My construct, you began to speak before Nisa so rudely interrupted you, and I'm sure she will apologize for such action as well. But you had something to say about her, Lord Council.
It will be provided to you as long as I get to personally dismantle, investigate, and rebuild it within your presence, of course. I would like to learn the intricacies of your race's mechanics.
Well, this is, of course, something I can facilitate. But I will say that it has been meddled with, as you so eloquently pointed out during the trial. Master Aerus did make some modifications, so there are certain intricacies that may have been affected by such things. So I don't feel it is truly representative of my skill. However, I would be more than happy to impart as many pieces of knowledge on such constructs to you as you are willing to listen. That was a bad sentence.
What do you need? Turn it to full functionality.
A forge and, shall we say, 48 hours.
On your return, you should be granted both.
Oh, and there are certain metals that I will require. May I leave a list?
Of course. However,
Pleasure
all of
doing
this does not come entirely free. Not only will you return my text signets and find out where this man came from, anything of value you find be brought to me from the guild house. I will then decide what I want to keep and what I will so generously give on to you.
These are acceptable terms, and as you say, quite generous. And he looks to the rest of you.
Sorry, I had a momentary freeze there after you said these are quite general. Read that?
Sure. These are quite generous terms, Councilman. And I speak for myself when I say I accept, and then he looks to the rest of them to get like a confirmation.
I just say like, I'm just like,
Well,
Just nodding my head.
Tig?
who was your contact within Corinth?
I believe that is an answer Nissa should answer. A question, that is.
Out of character, I don't know who in Corinth would have told us. I don't remember his fucking name, so I didn't
Xavier.
yeah, the
Right.
councilman.
The fucking creepy man. Okay, in that case, I'm gonna look at Aethelfin with the really like, ugh. I was Councilman Xavier.
Such a pleasant fellow. Well,
Yes, very quaint.
he is one of my guild's backers. So, by the looks on your faces, I understand if you do not want me to let him know you are here.
That would be very appreciative. Thank you.
So you'll keep your mouths shut about this little errand? A word of it
What
is
errand?
out at all? Well, Xavier doesn't need to know you were ever here, does he?
Thank you.
I think we're of one mind, Councilman. And yes, well, I do not for the life of me recall any of our conversation we've had here, so perhaps we should leave, and I may find myself conveniently placed nearby to a crime I believe occurred recently.
Liam. You are not using push to talk, and it is somewhat
Yeah.
hard to hear you.
Yes, Councilman.
I understand you're somewhat naive with the greater world. Have you understood everything that's gone on here?
I believe I acknowledge my duties, Councilman.
Do you agree to follow these orders above any others?
He pauses for a moment and then glances towards Aethelfin and then looks back up and says, I do, Councilman.
You will aid these four no matter what you have been told otherwise. That understood?
Acknowledged, Councilman.
There's a glad. Now, Liam, how well do you know the Colossus?
Well enough that I could take them wherever they need to go, sir.
Could you take them somewhere without being noticed?
I've never had to do that before, sir. I'm not sure.
No one must remember, no one must see you. You need to take them below the feet of the Colossus. You know where that is? Below the experimentation chambers.
Yes, sir. I have been some time ago.
Good. Well, the dais you stand on is hollow. Doesn't sound it, but it is. Those chains make it seem sturdy. Silence spreads. When you are done with your task, come here climb down the trapdoor beneath your feet, and I will be waiting. Or one of my representatives will. Good day. And he turns and leaves.
We should go.
Yeah, Tig's eyeballing Aethelfin at the moment, just.
Aethelfin's looking around for his construct.
Are we like alone outside now?
As you go to walk out, one of the guards steps in front of you, Aethelfin. Your creature is waiting for you in your room.
Wonderful.
So we're alone outside at this point, right?
I mean, there's the guards behind you, but more or less.
I don't care about the guards. I slap Aethelfin across the face.
Just stands there and takes it.
And I'm like, let's go.
Anyone else? Then he looks at Tig and goes, except you.
I wouldn't take it personally, miss. After seeing what you did to the wall, I wouldn't want to be slapped by it either.
We definitely do.
I walk up to Tig and I'm like, Tig, you're a strong girl.
With you all milling around outside the council chambers, one of the guards steps forward. Liam, you need us to escort you anywhere?
No, sir, but we did send a guard on an errand to fetch 2 wasters, wooden training swords. Do you know what the progress of that is, or are you not affiliated?
I sent someone to get it. They are out at the moment. I haven't been back to your rooms. I'm not entirely sure. We asked for... We wasn't sure what type of sword you wanted, so... There are 2 short swords made of wood, and 2 long swords. You asked for weighted, the entire middle of it is metal. It will have 4 times the weight of a standard sword.
That is perfect, thank you very much. And you'll politely give a little bow to the guard and then turn around and quietly say to everyone, we should head back to our rooms in the lobby.
And Vanny, when you hear that, you're like, that's a bit heavy for a regular sword. And you sort of take a closer look at the guards and you realize they're hugely muscled. Like, they are very, very, very strong. You think that if it wasn't for her special arm, they could probably take Tig.
I'm like, can we not have weighted swords, please? As you can see, we are both frail.
Are you sure? I'm comfortable training with one.
Can we have this
Can we go
conversation
for a
elsewhere,
walk?
please?
Go
Let's
for a
go
walk,
back.
make big and strong.
Let's go back and see the swords. If they're not acceptable, then we'll search for another one.
So, as you walk back, you see that people are sort of like eyeing up this very weird group of, 4 tallish, strange-looking beings from elsewhere, led by this sort of shorter man with his white hair and horns. It was white hair, right?
Yes.
Yeah, alright, so you get back in the lobby area is the guards sort of ended up getting you a couple short swords, a couple long swords, a couple shields. And then
food.
In each of your rooms individually is a tray full of cold meats. And some bread.
Tig is just digging into the meat, just eating all of it, throwing it like leftovers out the door.
I go to the swords and I pick them up and I feel like how heavy they are in comparison to, like, could I use it? Like, is it too heavy? Is it like
Uh,
just right? Or
As opposed to your dex weapons, this one's gonna be strength.
okay, I'm like, we need another sword, something light.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Aethelfin's going to give everyone about 5 minutes, and then he's going to gather Vanny, Tig, and Nissa, and ask Liam to leave.
Just quickly,
For 5.
while Tig's been... Oh, sorry. What?
Liam.
Sorry, you go.
Okay.
I was just...
When Liam's asked to leave, he just pauses for a moment and then just gives a polite bow and says, "Of course, sir. I'll be outside if you need me." And he's gonna step out to the lobby and just sit down and wait.
Okay.
Alright. Anyone else want to do the thing?
Just
And
quickly.
I'll say what I'm going to say.
While Tig was eating through all the like assorted meats and stuff, would I have been able to hear that Vanny wasn't having difficulty finding a sword?
No.
Okay, never mind then.
Alright. Cool. Aethelfin's going to get...
By the way, when I'm looking for the sword, I have my sword as well, right? I have it back.
Yeah. Actually, I'm trying to remember the standard weight of a longsword. It's only like 4 or 5 pounds, but that still equates to quite heavy when you quadruple that. You know,
Yes.
it's like
'Cause I'm
8 kilos
also looking
held out
for-
at length. So
I'm looking for something I could use like with dex, right? And if
Yeah.
it's so heavy, I couldn't do that.
if you do that and want to ask the guards, they might be able to get you something different.
Yeah, like I take out my sword. I'm like, something like this, something as light as this.
The guards sort of look at it very quizzically, and then pick it up, and they're like shocked. They start swishing it through the air, and they're just like, "What is this? What is this made of? How much? How much for the sword?"
Not even 1,000,000 gold, and I take it back.
As the door closes behind you, you're like, "Do you see that sword? I want that sword. Need to find out how to make that. Maybe one of the artificers should see it." Okay.
I think Aethelfin probably caught the last part of that, and it's just like, you know, Vanny, I could make you a very rich woman if you allow me to examine that later. But for now, I have something that I need to discuss with you three in interesting circumstances.
Okay.
And he'll gesture them all to follow him to probably the most remote corner of the room, and he's going to take his cloak off and then gesture them all to huddle in, and he's going to drape the cloak over them. And he's going to... Yeah, go on.
As they're walking towards Aethelfin, Liam's just gonna give like a polite sort of, bye, like nice wave.
Tig
Yeah.
goes back.
And then he's going to place the cloak over him and activate Sanctuary. Now, the way that Sanctuary works is it repels all spells cast at them. Would it be arguably able to repel any spells that might be like a listening spell or anything like that, whilst inside its protective aura?
I have to wait and see.
Oh, good. All right. Well, we'll see. And he's like, so okay, secret huddle under the cloak, right? And he looks at you all and goes, so I assume no one here has much, and he looks at Vanny, well, perhaps not you, my dear, much experience with courtly intrigue.
No.
Well, the first thing about
Right.
plausible deniability is that those that are plausibly denial often don't live very long afterwards. So we need to come up with an insurance policy, one that will negate any potential unpleasantry at the end of this mission. Hopefully, there won't be any need for it, and I'm certainly not planning to use it, but we need to watch our backs and tread very, very carefully. Speak to no one about this, not even Liam. I'm not certain he's not a cat's paw of this council member. Much of that show that he put on in the council could just as easily be representative of what happened when they put me on trial. And he looks at you all expectantly, waiting for a question.
You
No
said
one?
yes, we go kill people. Why?
Because, my dear, unfortunately, doing the job will require us to get our hands dirty, but it will get us closer to our goal. Here's something that you don't know, and it may shock you. I am not responsible for killing anyone previously. That whole debacle we had, where you basically told everyone that you believed I was capable of unjustified murder, and he looks at Nisa, was a show. They wanted to gauge your personalities, your loyalties, and of course, your capabilities. My construct, just conveniently repaired, was never destroyed. They simply inspected it, gave me a bit of a hairy eyebrow, and then gestured me up into that column. That column is, by the way, hollow, as they say. So at least they were telling the truth about that. But it is also an extremely, extremely isolated area, away from prying eyes, where one could easily dispatch, say, 4 unwanted political cat's paws. No question, no fuss. So, we tread carefully. You understand?
Crystal.
Right. Well, hopefully this cloak has kept any prying ears away, but I can't guarantee it. Unfortunately, I can't see if there's any magical auras here ambiently recording us, but this is the most simple way in which I could prevent us from being overheard. Now, I say we keep our eyes open for opportunities to turn this around should we require it, or keep an eye out for evidence that may prove unwise for the councilman should it be required. I'm more than happy to play ball, but let's protect ourselves. We've been caught out with Xavier. And he looks at Nisa. And I understand that you are simple-minded when it comes to these sorts of things, so I don't hold it against you.
I slap him again.
At that, I'm gonna just turn around and walk out of the cloak.
When he said simple-minded, I slap him in the face.
There's not enough room to slap under the cloak. You could probably uppercut him. That's about it.
I uppercut him.
Oh god. Okay, roll an attack for that one.
Okay. Oh no, I'm not gonna even question that.
Okay.
Roll damage.
Roll damage. Oh wait, it's just 1 point of damage in 5th ed, isn't it? It's 1 point.
It's 1 point of damage plus strength mod.
What's your strength mod?
-2.
You take 1 point of damage.
I get 1 point of health back.
Not quite. Okay, so
when Nisa goes and leaves, I sort of watch him uppercut. Nisa go apparently. So after Nisa goes and leaves the cape, and he goes and uppercuts him, I just have a quick giggle and then sort of push him a bit. It's like, Tig, protect Nisa and Tig family. Tig and Arm, not out to kill.
My dear, trust me, when you're playing at this level, you need to be prepared to do things that are unpleasant. I need to know that you'll be able to pull off this without too much of a niggling, what's the word? I'm actually genuinely drawing a blank on the word. A conscience. You need to stop thinking bad thoughts about what you're about to do. It's a bad thing that has to happen.
Heart. Tig, listen to Arm and Heart. Protect Nisa and family.
Fine, but understand I'm trying to do the same.
Not do bad things for bad people.
I hear Tig, protect Nisa and family. I say, if we don't do this, Tig, they will hurt Nisa and family. We are doing this to protect ourselves, so we can survive. I know.
Nisa in danger. Tig, help.
Now, that's all well and good. We should probably make tracks before we get caught up in any other intrigue. But remember, treat Liam as though nothing is amiss. He's in our full
Still talking.
confidences.
But while they're still talking after I've walked away, I'm gonna go up to Liam and just chat with him.
Okay. Once they're finished, I'll have that chat.
Do you understand? We don't tell him about this.
Stepped out.
Fine. Well, at least you seem to understand what I'm talking about, Vanny.
I understand. I don't
Then he
like
realigns
it,
that
but I
jaw.
understand. And don't mention anything about them being wild elves, being inferior to you, because they are not. Do I see that eye roll?
Yeah.
Probably a little bit, yeah.
I slap him again.
You'll hear that slap sound throughout the halls. You then.
You made
after
that
that, I
noise,
just
and I
walk
just
off.
thought of the second you made that chat 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 noise, I just thought of Crystal Lake with the sounds that you hear before, yeah.
So
yeah, I think he
Take
takes the
a small
coat and
applause.
swirls it around and throws it over. And he's like,
as
I'm like, you know nothing, and I just walk out.
So to Tig, Nisa, and Liam, you'll watch as this construct silently moves outside the door and waits, and it sort of seems to have its head cocked to the side. And as the door opens and it sees inside that only Vanny and Aethelfin are there, it grabs Vanny by
no.
chest and neck. Yeah, and it quickly grabs her, raises her hand, and you see a blade extend from the arm, and it just sort of seems to look up to you with almost like a predatory look. Aethelfin.
I look
No,
over to
calm
Aethelfin
down.
just.
Yeah, this is a misunderstanding. She's very protective. Abatas, put Vanny down, and do not harm her unless she means deadly force upon me. Or any of you need to calm down, Abatas. This is the nuance of being a person, and we'll discuss this sometime later.
Okay. Abatas sort of just was holding you at almost a 45-degree angle from the floor, and just when he says put her down, just lets you go. You just crumple.
I go and pick up Vanny, and
You won't be able to get past Abatas at the moment.
No, okay, well, as soon as Abatas is out the way, I'll go do that.
This is the first time you've seen the construct, Liam, and it is. How tall is it?
6'2".
6'2", a huge set of wings, and is crafted beautifully to look like an elf
With wings.
So as
Did it get like a buff job?
Yeah, it's all shiny.
Did they clean it up? Oh, okay, so it's super shiny. It's like mithril.
Yeah. Because the mithril had been coated with like a dull sort of paint originally to make it look almost humanoid, like a matte sort of like flesh color. And it's just been like shined up, and that sort of paint it just wipes straight off. As you walk out though, Nisa, to flash back a little bit, you see a guard talking to Liam, and he's we've been told that if you need supplies, you can head to your guild and get whatever you need.
Thank you for the news. That will be all.
It just sort of nods at you sharply, turns on his heel and walks away. Nissa, you can approach Liam now.
I'm gonna approach Liam. I've been thinking, how does your glove work?
That's a very specific question. Could I ask why?
I've just been really intrigued with magic. That's all.
Well, I was taught how to channel tricks and a few other minor aids, and I find it pretty difficult to do without some way of focusing it, and all of these help. And he pulls out the glove and a handful of like runic chains and a few parchments of paper and a few other things, and just shows them off. And they've all got these runic symbols littering them, and they're all in some horrible, sharp, vile-looking language.
Did it take long?
This is
to
for you
learn
new
how to
people.
use that
I only have one
and the
rule.
stuff that go with it?
Everyone fights. No one
Relatively, that depends on how long you think long is.
Well, how long did it take you?
Well, this took me about 20 years. And he pulls the glove on and reaches for the snow globe that Tig gave him, and he just leans in close, looks into it as if he's gazing straight through it, and he just whispers to himself, "Smivastul," and the image of that councilman that he didn't recognize just starts to form inside the snow globe as he casts minor illusion.
That's really freaking cool. Did you have to like read books or anything to learn about this, how to do this magic, or was it just shown to you?
It was more of one-to-one tutoring, and he looks a little uncomfortable.
Okay, I like magic and I've been interested in it, so I want to learn more.
Is Tig close enough to see this illusion?
Probably close enough to see the snow globe.
Yeah, she's probably gonna sneak up and just try and get real close to it and just like.
Can you roll
just
intelligence
poke
check,
it, like-
please, Tig? What's your intelligence?
Yes. -3.
-3. That is the best intelligence.
Come on, let's roll a big ol' one.
Tig!
Make it the best negative roll ever.
There's a small man trapped in the glass, though he seems to be happy.
Oh no! No!
He seems to be happy.
Oh, right. Sorry.
I'm just gonna.
In her bag.
I'll
I'm gonna-
Safe.
I'll
I'm gonna
help
pat
him.
Tika.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll let him out. Okay, Tig? Relax. I'll let him go. And while Tig's freaking out, he's just going to brush like 2 fingers over the globe, and it just turns into like wispy smoke, and disappears. There, see, he's home now. He's back home.
The small man disintegrates much like what Soot used to do to people.
I'm gonna gonna go up and I'm just gonna hug Ting and be like, no, it's okay.
Everyone comes in like, what have you done?
Much like a ghost, in fact, Tig.
Nothing. It was just a little.
So we're gonna run
illusion.
into the corner and hide under the blankets from one of the rooms. Just hide under it.
It was just a magic trick. I just made someone appear in the globe. That's all.
Someone walks up and slaps Liam. Mostly because he wants to slap someone, but also a bit like, how dare you?
Roll
You slap.
insight check as
No,
he
no.
approaches.
Well, I'm not gonna contest it, but Aethelfin slaps Liam, and his skin is ice cold.
Looks at his hand for a second and goes, Don't scare Tig, she's very fragile.
He didn't mean to. It was an accident.
He just sort of blinks at you a few times and just walks off.
And Liam just sort of looks down at his glove and immediately just yanks it off and stuffs it in the in his pocket.
I walk up to Nisa and I poke at her and like, can I say something to you?
Yeah, what's up?
Without Aethelfin.
He's already walked off.
Yeah, he's looking at his construct.
Okay. So when we're private, I'm like, do not let him speak down to you. You are not lesser than him. And she keeps like repeating that over and over, and like you can see her eyes just like swell up in tears. It's like, not let him speak down to you.
I will definitely try not to.
Thank you. And I wipe the tears. And I'm like, whew, I'm good. Presentable. Let's go.
I'm gonna walk up to Tig. Are you okay, sweetie? I'm sorry if that snuggle up thing scared you.
Tiny man, you're turned to dust like Sout.
No, the tiny man, he was just an image. He wasn't actually real. No, he wasn't real. He was just an image. The real one is in his room, in his own section. Little man in Snow Globe, not real. He was not real. He was just an image. He wasn't actually there. It's okay. Just image. Just image. It wasn't real. It's okay. I'm gonna like try and find some like food, like biscuits or like anything adorable with like little biscuits, anything, meat, anything, and I'm just gonna hand it to Tig and go, here, eat this. It'll make you feel happy.
She's just pouting at the moment. She's sort of like, I don't know what to do. Very distressed. Tried to help, didn't do anything.
Okay. Well. You calm down with Nisa there. Vanny is. I guess you're ready to. You guys are all ready to go though for what you want to do.
Yeah, I want to check with the guards if they have something that's the same weight as my sword.
When you open the door, like one of them is missing. The other one sort of just looks at you. Hello. He's left to fetch what you needed.
Thank you.
Are you ready to go? Young Liam is meant to be taking you to get supplies. Do you know what you need? For your
Almost.
What are you doing again?
Can Liam hear this?
Yeah.
Liam's gonna step into the conversation and state, we're preparing to build something. It's a custom order from my guild.
Ooh, interesting. What is it?
We're trying to keep it kind of secret. It's an experimental build, a different housing for one of our constructs. If it works out, it'll be really successful.
He sort of
Avitas, come here.
Around and sort of steps forward. He's like, I didn't think pass my test to get into the guild. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Sure, yeah, I can help you with that. And Liam is literally going to just walk him through a few pointers on how to join his guild.
Okay. The guard sort of sits there and starts like writing stuff down in a little like notepad he has, and you realize that he can barely spell. Notepad. He can, he has a lot of trouble with his numbers and letters.
Does the guard have any keys visible on his belt anywhere?
Yes.
Now that he's immensely distracted, I'd like to spend 1 sorcery point to cast Subtle Spell on Mage Hand and quietly, without making a noise or gesturing, lift his keys off of his belt.
I walked in at that point.
No, you haven't. Okay, let's see if he notices. What's your sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand? I have no idea. Okay. 1 second. Let me double check Mage Hand, because it may let me use my spellcasting ability.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well, because I haven't actually, I've never had it used this. So that's kind of half the reason people usually use it. I've never had it used in one of my games.
It doesn't specify.
Tell you what, let's go sleight of hand with either your dex or intelligence, whatever's higher.
Dex or intelligence, both are terrible.
Tell you what, what's your spell save? Actually, that's probably the fairest way to do it. What's your spell DC save?
Oh, I was just gonna roll the sleight of hand, but the DC is 16.
16? He does not notice a thing. He's like tongue sticking out, like trying to form his words right. The is spelled T-E-H. It's he's not doing well.
Yeah, and this like sort of vaguely ghost-like light hands just passes the keys to Liam's hand behind his back, and Liam slips the keys into his satchel behind him.
Okay. So I have all my players right now begging for a break. So we will take a 5-minute break right there as Liam steals from a guard. Okay, guys, everyone wave goodbye.
High drama.
We'll be right back in about 5 to 10.